So, you want to be filthy rich in classic TBC? Well, today I want to share with you one of my gold making plans for TBC, and I've chosen to call this the ultimate gold making plan for TBC Classic, because I really do believe you can make an absolute metric ton of gold by using this method. Obviously, me making a video on it might make it a little bit less profitable, but I will make several videos on different ways to both make and farm gold, so hopefully there's something out there for everyone, so you can choose the method of making or farming gold that you personally like the most. So for today we are talking about crafting, and there's two professions I want to bring up here: tailoring and leatherworking. For tailoring, you can be self-sufficient by grinding mobs, as you don't need any specific secondary professions to gather cloth or silk. You just simply kill things and loot them. For leatherworking though, you are actually dependent on skinning to gather leather to then craft into items, which is where having tailoring and leatherworking might be a little bit tricky, because then you won't have skinning. This is where I'm going to say you can either have a skinning alt if you want to be self-sufficient, or you can simply buy the leather from the auction house, trade chat, or general chat, as the gold in the methods we are talking about here lies in the reputation, so even by buying the materials and crafting the items you will still be able to make a lot of profit. That being said, I will say that you can go into the Burning Crusade with tailoring and skinning. That way you can grind a lot of leather before switching out skinning with leatherworking, so you can increase your profit margins by actually being self-sufficient. This is a bit tricky, because once you are going to switch from skinning to leatherworking, you also have to skill up the vanilla portion of leatherworking, so you will have to stockpile a lot of materials for it, but it could be a really good way to get your hands on some leather for leatherworking early in TBC, and I really do think TBC materials will be very expensive early in TBC, and the method I will talk about in this video will be really lucrative early in TBC, and a lot less lucrative as we get further into TBC. So having skinning early and switching it out with leatherworking once you hit level 70, and have some TBC leather stocked up, might actually be the way to go. I also want to let you guys know that I've managed to secure you guys a 50% off code on what I think is the best gold making guide for TBC Classic, which you can find a link to in the description and the pinned comment. So far, this gold making guide has 80 pages of pure gold making information. It is incredibly in-depth, and by purchasing the guide you will also get all of the updates for free, as a student will keep improving and updating the guide before TBC comes out and during TBC as well. So if you want a guide that shows you everything you need to know about gold farming and gold making, go check it out, the link in the description, and use code Solheim at checkout to save 50%. So without further ado, here it is. My plan is to grind reputation and obtain a couple of recipes locked behind reputation. Let's talk about leatherworking first. For leatherworking you have a couple of incredibly useful item sets that you can craft early in TBC and sell as pre-BIS item sets, which a lot of people might be looking to obtain early in TBC, meaning that the earlier you can obtain these recipes and the earlier you can craft these, the more potential customers you will have and the more profit you will make. The items here are the fell leather gloves, the boots and the legs, as well as the fell stalker belt, bracers and breastplate. The fell leather set requires reputation with the consortium, and the fell leather gloves require friendly, the fell leather boots requires honored, and the fell leather legs requires revered. The fell stalker set requires reputation with Thrallmar, and the fell stalker belt requires friendly, while both the bracers and breastplate apparently requires honored based on the various websites I checked, including several TBC database websites. I would kinda assume the breastplate would require revered, since the fell leather legs requires revered from the fell leather set, but yeah, there it is. The Thrallmar and honor roll reputation required for the fell stalker set can be obtained by questing in Hellfire Peninsula, as well as running the Hellfire dungeons in Hellfire Peninsula, such as the Hellfire Ramparts and Blood Furnace. The consortium reputation required for the fell leather set can be obtained by running dungeons associated with the consortium, such as Mana Tombs or Orkanai Crypts, basically all of the Orkandune dungeons. I will also leave links to the Wowhead guides for both Honor Hold, Thrallmar and the consortium reputations in the description of this video, so you can go and check those out for a full in-depth view of how to obtain the reputation, but here's a quick TLDR. Do normal mode dungeons until you hit Honored, at which point normal dungeons will no longer yield reputation, so at this point you need to start doing daily quests, item hand-ins, and heroic dungeons. One more bonus about the Honored Hold and Thrallmar reputations for leatherworking is that at Honored you can get the pattern for the Cobra Hide leg armor, and at Exalted you can get the pattern for the Nether Cobra leg armor as well, so you will really want these reputations anyway as a leatherworker, and you can capitalize on getting that reputation early and selling pre-best in slot gear as well. Now I did also mention tailoring, and tailors can craft the imbued netherweave armor set, which actually doesn't even require any specific reputations to obtain the recipes for. It's just a straight up tailoring craft. That being said, you don't learn to craft them from your regular tailoring trainer. Instead, the recipes are picked up from different vendors in Outland with a limited supply, meaning it's first come, first serve here as well, and you can capitalize on the limited supply of the vendors, so if you can grab one or more of these recipes early, you can make absolute bank by selling these as well. One additional reason why I would personally have tailoring and leatherworking on the same character is that you would be doing dungeons such as Shattered Halls and Shattered Labyrinth anyway, for reputations to obtain your leatherworking recipes from reputation, and the spell strike patterns for tailoring actually drops inside those dungeons, so you can hit 2 birds with 1 stone by having tailoring and leatherworking on the same character. And here's a quick list of really lucrative tailoring recipes that you can obtain from inside certain dungeons, and these are the only places you can obtain these recipes, making these recipes really lucrative. Personally, I think anything locked behind the barrier to entry will be insanely lucrative, simply because it requires a little bit of effort to actually obtain, as well as this is not something that will be infested by bots, which will already increase the profit margins by quite a bit in itself. I also love this combination of leatherworking and tailoring, because you will 100% get rewarded by grinding the reputation for leatherworking, as well as you have the chance of obtaining some incredibly rare recipes for tailoring as well, while simultaneously grinding that reputation you need for leatherworking. Personally, I love that type of gold making because you are secured quite a bit of profit, as well as you have the chance of hitting the jackpot, which in this case would be those tailoring recipes from the dungeons. But even without getting those tailoring recipes, you should be getting a decent chunk of profit from the leatherworking crafts. So yeah guys, that is my gold making plan for Classic TBC, quickly summarized. I will say that it is not my only gold making plan, as I don't like to put all of my eggs into one basket, but I think this is the best one, and it's also the one I'm expecting to make the most profit with. But I am also planning on doing a lot of specific gold farms, as well as investments, which I guess also counts as gold making plans, which I'll cover in future videos. Actually, I have already made some videos about that as well, but I do have a couple of hidden gems that will come out soon. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you found it helpful, and more than anything, I hope it actually helps you guys make some gold in TBC Classic. And if you feel like sharing your gold making plans in TBC Classic, feel free to leave a comment down below. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you again very soon. Oh yeah, don't forget to click subscribe and hit the like button. Okay, bye!